Hi, I'm Beth. Welcome to my channel today. This video is going to explore finding greater mobility and ease in your lower body. We're specifically going to focus on the hips and the lower back. You won't need any props. I recommend having a mat. You might want a blanket for cushion under your knees. We are going to start on all fours. So if you're ready, join me on an all fours position on your mat. So find a position where you feel stable with your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Rather than do the traditional cat-cow here, we're going to explore rocking or curving the pelvis only. So you'll find a place where you can start to tuck the tailbone, rounding the lower back. Your upper back might move, but I'm trying as much as possible to emphasize this tuck action in my lower back. And then going the opposite direction, letting the tailbone tip up, you're finding a greater curve in your lower back as your front of your pelvis tips toward the mat. So a few times like this, rocking back and forth. Now, this does not need to be a big motion. You can keep these tucks and curves in a pretty small range if that works for you. So like we would do with cat-cow, we're just trying to explore our initial range of motion. Maybe feel for any stuck spots. Then come back to a neutral and give your hips a little wag from side to side. So as if you had a tail and you could move your tail. So keeping everything else pretty still. Again, your body might move a little bit with this, but trying to isolate that by pulling the hip to one side and then the other. And come back through center and maybe a few more pelvic rocks just to see how that feels. Right, we're going to stay in hands and knees for a few more moments. You can stay where you are. I'm going to come around to face you. And this time I'm going to take my leg out to the side. So you can move your right leg out to the side if you're mirroring me. And now we're going to rock on our hands. So moving a little back and forth on the hands. But you might notice that as you do that, you're moving your whole body to create movement around the leg joint where the leg attaches to the hip. And so that's some of the target area for today. Again, only move within your range, whatever that is, making the movements bigger or smaller as your own comfort allows. And then eventually stop the rocking. Start to walk your hands in so that you come to a standing kneeling. And we're going to turn this leg so it's like a side lunge. So your foot will be a little closer, your knee will be bent. It's fine if your leg is a little bit more to the front than out to the side. So find this position first. No worries about exactly where the placement of the foot is. Put extra cushioning under your bottom knee if you'd like. We'll do a few rocks from this position. And so we're rocking into the foot, letting ourselves kind of fall into that lunge. So a few times this way. And now you might feel greater areas of the lower body having to participate in this movement around the hip joint still, maybe in the hip flexor of the other leg. Then we're going to reposition this leg so it's about on a 45-degree diagonal. And we'll do that rock again. See what changes you notice, if any, as you move the leg around. Do you feel different areas participating? And then finally, you might know where we're going. We'll move that leg front and same thing a few times. All right, take a still position with the leg still in the front. We'll work our way back around. Option to add in a little twist here. So if you want to add the twist, you'll take the same arm as leg, and you'll either brace the elbow on the inside of your thigh or reach toward the ground. Opposite arm can come to the hip or maybe reach up to the ceiling. So adding an upper body twist to explore what happens in the lower body. And then we'll come up. You can take a rock or two to the front. And then we'll move this leg back out to the 45-degree angle. You can rock for a moment there. And if you'd like to take the twist, again, reach the elbow on the inside of the thigh or reach the hand down. Just a moment to twist the torso. All right, one more time. We come back out to our original position. A few rocks there. And again, option 2, take the twist. Now you'll be facing me if you started mirroring me. All right, let's come in and find that entire sequence on the second side. So we'll start on our hands and knees. Take your right leg out to the side, place it wherever it's comfortable. It's fine if it's still a little bent, and do a few rocks. This side might feel different, especially after we already did the work at the first side. Let it be whatever it is, simply noticing it, feeling what's there. And then as you stop your rocking, walk your hands in. Find a place where you can plant that foot, knee is bent approximately at your 90-degree angle. Make sure you feel stable before we start to move, and then we start to rock sideways a few times. So you're almost letting yourself fall into your foot a little bit. You're using muscles around your leg to help push you back up. You're activating the foot. Lots of stuff going on there. You might feel this in a lot of places throughout the body. All right, then we'll step that foot about on a 45-degree angle first. Rocking again. And I just have my hand on top of my leg for a little bit of extra stability. Your hands could be at your sides or on your hips. And then we go front, stop rocking, readjust your foot front, fall into that a few times. You can go slower. Sometimes slow allows us to really notice and feel the move a little more. And when we stop, we have the option to do the twist in this position. If you don't like the twist, you can continue to take the rocking at any pace you like. If you're doing the twist, take a moment to stop. Your left arm comes on the inside of your left leg, or the fingertips might reach down to the ankle or the floor. Right arm comes up and reaches into the twist, holding for a moment, twisting around your ribs, and then come back down. Walk yourself up, take your leg back out to the 45-degree angle, rock a few times. And then if you'd like, add the twist, bracing your arm, using the other arm as you twist into it with your torso. Using your exhales to help move you into the twist. Come back up, leg out to the side, our original position, a few last rocks from this position. And then one last time with the twist if you're doing the twist. All right, and come up. A last move on our all fours here. I'll face you or stay facing you. Take the feet a little bit wider. The legs and the feet, the knees and the feet a little wider. So you're kind of in this froggy position. You can have your toes toward each other or apart. And the last few rocks here. So we did this with one leg out. Now that we did all those other movements, we're exploring how this feels when we have both legs, both sides together. We're not tucking or curling the pelvis, so we're not doing a forward fold or an anterior or posterior rock with the pelvis. It's pretty neutral. All right, and then bring yourself back up through center. We're going to lying. This practice is all on the floor. We're trying to stay pretty gentle here as we try to feel how our hips, our lower back are feeling. And of course, they're attached and work together. So as you come to lying, first feel comfortable in this new position. Then we're going to extend the right leg out long and the left knee bent. So this is our starting point here. And we're going to take a few times and we'll push into the foot of the left foot to help turn us right. So you see I'm pushing into that foot. As I turn right, I'm keeping the left shoulder down on the ground and I'm really pointing my knee to the right diagonal. So not directly to the side, I'm pointing the knee down to the right side diagonal, the lower diagonal. And I'm also lifting my hips. My left hip lifts, my left knee reaches. I'm pushing the hips into this twist, but keeping the upper body pretty stable. You can have your arms wherever you want and come back through center. Let's do 3 times like that. Back through center. You control the degree to which you push the bent knee foot into this, how much you activate this into your hips. And back through to center. This time we're going to push all the way onto our sides. And we'll come up in a little supported side position. You can be all the way down if you'd like. Slide that same bent leg back, grasp the ankle wherever you can hold. You can also hold your pants or use a strap. Our goal here is not to have the knee in front of the line of the hip, is to draw our knee back behind the hip, behind the plane of the hip, so we can get more of a stretch for the hip flexor. Let's hold here for a moment. Gently press your foot into your hand, pressing the knee of the bent leg away and back, kind of back to the opposite diagonal now. And then you might like to make a few small circles back if that's doable for you here. Circling a couple times in one direction and then in the other direction. All right, we're going to do one more move lying. We'll come back up to this side and then we'll finish with side 2. So our last move, we take our feet wider. Now you're more in a W position and both knees are bent. So this time both knees go to the right, same direction that we went to before. But once again, push into that bottom hip, send the knee out into the diagonal. This might feel different than the one leg version. We're just going to stay and hold here for a few moments. Feel your breath. Breath can also sometimes be a kind of a clue, a key to, are we relaxing to the pose? Are we tensing in the pose? And then release, but continue rolling onto your side. And we're going to wrap the leg that was behind around in front, coming to a cross-legged position. Now this is, my back leg was my left leg, so it's my left leg in front. If you're mirroring me, it's going to be your right. You're going to take a little forward fold here. Scooch so that you feel comfortable on your sits bones. Perch up on a blanket if that helps. Start to forward fold. And I'm, again, not coming to a place where I round my back or extend. If anything, I'm keeping a little bit more extended, a little bit more upright and width across my front body. And then we're going to walk in the direction of the front foot, so that diagonal that the front foot is pointing, and allow yourself to walk out here any amount. And here you might feel a stretch traveling into wrapping around the side of the hip, the glutes, the lower back. I like to stay up on my fingertips. You might find that there's more room to go a little lower, or maybe you're even a little higher here. And gradually come around to front. We're going to do the second side. You can just sort of flip over. I'm going to turn this way so that I'm still facing you for this side. So remember where we started. We started with one leg extended. For me, it's the back leg that is bent, foot flat on the floor, arms wherever you'd like to support you. And then we start to press into the bent knee foot. We're actually rolling a little bit more into the inside of our foot, starting to press the knee across but away. So not directly across like a twist, across and down to the opposite diagonal. Reaching away with that knee, taking the hip along with it, letting the hip lift any amount, keeping the shoulder toward the ground. And then come back, and we'll do that 2 more times. Push into the foot. And here's a place where everything is connected, right? We're pushing into the foot, and the hip comes along with it, the leg comes along with it. There might be sensation in your back. All right, one more time. Gentle push. We're not forcing anything. Gentle push, feeling sensation, not going into any painful sensation. And now keep rolling to this side. And so you can absolutely stay more down like this. I'm going to prop up. Take your top leg bent wherever you can grab. And actually, if you can't reach, you don't have a strap, you're cramping like I just did, it's fine not to grab. It's fine to simply bend the knee. Even keeping the leg straight, but moving the leg behind is going to address this hip flexor area on this front leg. That's where we're trying to get. If you have the ability to comfortably grab the leg, start to pull the leg behind you. Remember, we want the knee behind the plane of the hip. And whenever you get it there, gently push with your foot into your hand and your foot, a little isometric contraction there. And then option to do a few circles. That movement just invites in a little bit more exploration of mobility, a few times on one side, a few times on the other. All right, we'll come back to our lying position for that wider knee roll before we come back up to seated. So feet about mat width or so. Both knees drop in the same direction that you just were. And just like you did with the one bent knee, you're going to press into the inside of the foot, send the knee off into the diagonal. Your hip will lift any amount. See how this stretch feels compared to the first one. Maybe more tense, maybe less, maybe about the same. We're just holding it for a few more moments. Continue to breathe as you hold. Always continue to breathe. Obviously we are, right? But sometimes remembering it, connecting with it, noting it, that's part of our mindful practice. All right, we'll roll back to this front side. And then we'll take the back leg, cross it around in front in your cross-legged position. Any amount of cross leg, so it could be a tighter, it could be a looser cross leg. The goal is that one leg is in front of the other so that we're working the one side a little more. Scooch around on your sit bones. Find your upright seat first. We'll start folding forward, not rounding forward, simply folding from our hips. I'm using my hands to prop myself up. You can also have your hands on blocks, even a chair. And then I'm going to begin to turn in the direction of the front foot, turning around my waist, around my rib cage, my torso, a little bit of a twist. And then from the twist, any amount of forward fold, exploring the sensation going on in the outer hip, the glute, the lower back, on the side opposite to the side that you're leaning. One last breath here, or last few moments of holding. You can adjust however you'd like. And then we'll come back around to the front, come up, and we'll do one more movement. This time we're going to be lying prone or face down. So I'll go this way this time. Lie prone on your mat. And you can be propped with your head down for now. I'm going to keep myself up on my elbows so I can talk to you. And we're all going to go there in a moment. From here, you're going to slide one leg out to the side. The knee is lower than your hip, and the foot is toward your leg. So this is sort of like a tree pose leg. So get yourself used to this shape first. You can adjust. Your knee can be lower, your foot can be more out, but it's basically a tree pose leg. And then propped up on the arms, we're going to explore a little walk or a little side bend to the side that your leg is out. Remember, you might feel intense sensation at times. You know that the sensation is okay as long as it's not sharp and stinging. It doesn't feel like your body is screaming at you to get out of that position right away. It feels doable to hold for the amount of time we're holding, which is just a few more moments or a few more breaths. All right, we'll start to move back around to the front. Bring that knee down. You can come all the way down to rest if you'd like. So I'm not going to switch sides this time. You won't be able to completely see my knee, but you know what we're doing. We're taking the second leg into that tree pose leg. Adjust your body so that it's in a place where it feels sustainable. Back foot, the toes can stay down, or you can have the toes tucked under. See how that feels for you. And then if you're down, find a propping on your elbows, just enough so you can do that little crawl, that little bit of a walk toward your bent knee side. And we'll hold here a few breaths. There is some action of pushing into the forearms to keep your chest lifted and extended, and even to keep you moving into the side bend. Last breath or two. And crawl your way back up to center. You might like to finish by coming back up into hands and knees, maybe doing a full cat-cow or a few more pelvic rocks. You could also send your hips back into child's pose. So choose the way that you want to end your practice, whatever you need to let the areas that we stretched, that we addressed, just kind of gather back and settle. I really hope this is a helpful practice to you. Comment and let me know. It helps my channel a lot when you comment and when you give me a like. If you want to explore more with my channel, I've got plenty more for you to explore here. Thanks so much and have a great rest of your day.